International Girls in ICT Day is celebrated annually around the world with the intention to raise awareness on the growing importance of digital skills needed to pursue successful professional careers across sectors. Marked annually on the fourth Thursday in April, the United Nations International Telecommunication Union, ITU, is highlighting the need to promote technology career opportunities for women and girls in the world's fastest growing sector. For girls and young women to thrive in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM careers, they need safe and reliable access to the internet and digital tools. That is why this year, Girls in ICT will be celebrated under the theme Access and Safety. The Ghana Learning Channel sat down with 3 phenomenal women at different stages in their ICT careers to find out what their journey has been like.
My name is Benita Sampson. I am the head of the Information Systems Department of Gaisuko. Well, I'm the acting head. It's a new position. I've been in here for about a month and a half after our former head resigned. So the position is fairly new to me, but I'm fitting in nicely. Well, as the head, I oversee the respective departments. We have 3 departments, 3 main departments, the infrastructure and customer support department, and we have another department that mainly supports our business systems services, and then we have another department that does mainly development. So we have 3 main groups that I manage. Each group has their own manager, so I would oversee, of course, the work that everybody does and ensure that everything is going as smoothly as they could, and if it's not, then whatever inputs I can give and whatever other support they need from perhaps outside of the information systems department. Well, I did I started with a diploma in 1993. That was the first year that they were offering the diploma in computer science. At that time, I was not sure what area I wanted to get into. Actually, I was thinking of going to do a degree in mathematics. But then when I thought of what field I would get into after, I really could have thought of teaching, and I'm not into teaching so much. And computer science at that time was fairly new, so I said, why not? Why not go into the field? And so here am I 29 years later, yes, in the field. So I'd started a diploma at UG. The degree was introduced afterwards. I didn't complete the degree. After I finished the diploma, I started working here, right? As a junior programmer, and then I was sent to do the degree in Canada by Gaisuko. And then I came back and then just moved up after that to where I am today. Well, actually, I was one of those kids that wanted to make my dad proud and happy. And his professions for us were medicine, law, or religious. So I really did not, my train of thought or my thoughts then were do something that, because he worked so hard for us, do something that would make him happy. At that point in time, he didn't know much about what computer science was, so when I would have diverted now into this field, he would have supported me, but I don't think it would have made him happy as if I had gone into the other fields. But honestly, I didn't have like a particular choice where I want to be this or I want to be that. In my head, I just had doctor because that's what he wanted me to be. Yeah, so I did not continue in the field because I did some work studying it and I realized I was too scared of the blood and everything, so no doctor for me. So, and I thought it would have been an easy field too. So I chose here. I didn't really know what I was getting into when I started this program. And the computer science field is of different things, right? Data analysis, data design, programming, and programming was the hardest aspect for me, right? So even in all these years, I never delved too much into deep programming, right? I just did the basic queries, right? So for the course itself, programming was the hardest part for me. In the work-related field, I think I could say that being a female person in the field, others didn't think that, well, I had that in me to be the computer science specialist per se. And so I felt it was always having to prove myself. I think I did fairly well in proving myself. I really, at that point, never really thought about management. I was quite happy and comfortable to do support services, because I find that's what I like. I like to ensure that persons are happy with the service we provide. So I think I like that more about this field, like supporting persons in any areas they have. So much so that my previous boss had to say, when I became a manager, he said, you have to take off your hat of having to do the work, and you now have to manage the people who will do the work. Apart from that, there were some financial difficulties in getting the software or the services that are like the up-to-date. The thing with technology, it changes all the time, and it gets very costly. So unless you are a company that's very financially stable, sometimes it's hard to keep up with the latest technologies. So you just have to stay with what works. So that's a difficulty or a challenge I think I would have encountered, that we couldn't just stay with the technology, because we had other costs in the company to look at, and it's not cheap. Software is very expensive, the kind that we were using too. So we couldn't upgrade as much as we like. Things are so much different now than when I would have started in 29 years back. There's easy access to the internet. I remember the internet, having internet access was it was such a novelty when I started, right? So it wasn't that easy to get information. So with easy access to the internet, as like any other course, that should encourage them to, any problem you have, you can just go and Google a tutorial, and you can follow through with whatever is giving you a problem in the course. And more importantly though, is that every field that you enter it now, whether it's being the science, the arts, business, they need persons with computer science or information technology background. So I would encourage young women to take it up, right? And also to break that barrier that this is usually a male-dominated field. So they have to come up now and represent us women, that they can be as good or even better than the men in the field, right? And so become the ICT leaders of tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, I would encourage young women to take it up. Don't be scared. I mean, I know my daughter was scared of getting into the field. Actually, she is scared. She didn't take the field. She went into another field because they feel it's so difficult. It's like maybe studying aeronautics or something. But once you get into it, you enjoy it. So you just got to put your mind to it and know that come a few years, it's going to be easy to get a job with it. Because that's what you got to look at. So yeah, I would encourage them to go for it.
With technology playing a role in all kinds of careers, from art and history to law and graphic design, Learning tech skills at a young age will set girls up for economic independence, and in a male-dominated field, the ICT sector needs more girls and women.
My name is Farzana Hussain, and I'm a System Development Officer at the Ministry of Education. So my responsibilities are, besides being a System Development Officer, so I maintain the ministry's applications, their website basically, do general backups and maintain any of the ministry websites that is needed. Okay, so a little bit of a story time. In high school, I always loved IT. Now, graduating everything, I land myself a job. I was a data entry clerk. However, I was a science stream student who loved science and IT. So, my first job as a data entry clerk was within a medical institution. So, there are conflicts there. There are both things that I like, it's there. And as the data entry clerk now, I was then introduced to an application. And I saw this application. I was so intrigued to learn, to know more what's happening, how it works, So I wanted to know more. And there was a female coordinator there for the application and training persons and what's not. And they were the ones who motivated me to do more because they saw potential in me. As much as I know that I have potential, I'm passionate about this, they were the ones who gave me support and pushed me. And that's how I decided to go to University of Ghana and pursue a degree in computer science. And so I haven't had any challenges. The only thing what I can say is that some people are shocked when they see a female in the IT sector, like, you're a girl, you're a programmer. They're often shocked or be caught them by surprise. But other than that, I haven't had any challenges so far, or being treated that, you're female, you're not supposed to be doing this or so. No, none of that. Well, I didn't have to prove because I know what I stand for and I work my way to get what I want. If once there is a goal, I will try my best to reach that. So at the end of the day, we all like to win. We all like to show that we can do our best. So put your best foot forward and I do what is best. Okay, so I would advise young girls to be confident, be passionate about what you love, and especially in the IT field, you're not alone. Because yes, this is a male-dominated area and it's taboo basically, but as we know, you're not alone. There's so many females out there in the same position, but they feel alone. That's why we have the Girls in ICT Day, where they bring awareness to females working in the tech industry, right? And with that being said, it just motivates you more to do more and be comfortable in your working environment, especially in ICT, where men dominates, or where men dominates.
ITU estimates a skill shortfall of over 2 million jobs in the ICT sector within the next 5 years. Girls and young women who learn coding, app development, and computer science will not only be well placed for a successful career in the ICT sector, but ICT skills are rapidly becoming a strong advantage for students in just about any other field they may choose to pursue.
Hi, my name is Divyanand Dalal and I am currently 17 years old and a CAPE 6th form student at Queen's College. I'm also currently an aspiring software engineer. Well, firstly, I found the subject pretty easy to grasp and I did like the subject, the practical aspects of it as well. But I also know that it's a difficult field for women to be involved in, and I wanted to inspire other women to come into the field because it's so stigmatized that for women to come into this field. So I wanted to just be one more woman in this field to inspire others to come in and say you're not alone and, help with. Not particularly, but as I grew up, because I wasn't as exposed to technology as a child. But as I grew up and I, further my education, it's helped me in my education and everyday life. I'm becoming more aware of how important it is to move forward in my life. So. Well, personally, I have a very strong support system, especially at the school and my family. So I don't particularly face the challenges that I know most women face in this field. But I know I have a colleague who is currently studying at the University of Guyana, and she is currently 17 years old as well. And in her class, it's a lot bigger, and she has difficulty in the class as well, because sometimes she would, if she's answering a question, she is being interrupted by other males, and these are adults as well. You would expect adults to be more, have more courtesy, be more respectful, but that's not the case, especially with the men in this field. So she's saying a point, and then another man cuts her off to say the exact same thing, and maybe he thinks because it's coming from his mouth, it's more impactful, or he's saying something better, but really it's the same thing. I would advise the women to always stay focused and always know their work and ensure that they are knowledgeable, so that no one else can tell you that you don't know this and you don't know this. And I am up here and you're down here. You need to ensure that you actually have the knowledge base that is required, so no one can tell you or no one can say, I know more than you. Well, particularly, I'm looking forward to, I particularly like engaging with other women and, being more connected with them, because this field, they're so isolated in it. So I feel very drawn to, being their company. But that's, aside from that, the actual work of it, the software engineering part and all the programming. Building apps, creating programs, websites, all those games, and so.
So, on this International Girls in ICT Day, let's recommit to the goal of equal access for young women and girls to have opportunities in science, technology, engineering, and math-related careers.
Let's ensure access and safety for tomorrow's leaders in technology. Happy International Girls in ICT Day.
Let's ensure access and safety for tomorrow's leaders in technology. Happy International Girls in ICT Day.